Hi everybody, and welcome to the first of my beginner's guides to PUBG for people who have just picked up the game free on PS Plus for PS4. And in this video we're going to be looking at the menus, and we're going to be looking at settings for things like the display of the game and sensitivity, and then we're going to be looking at going into the training mode. So this is just all about getting you used to the game. Now, PUBG is a bit janky. It doesn't have the best UI in the world, so it takes a bit getting used to, but bear with it and you'll soon be playing one of the greatest games ever made. Now, if we look at the screen, look in the top left hand corner, then using the top shoulder buttons R1 and L1, you can flick from play, which is obviously this is where we play the game, to career. So this tells you how you've been getting on. You've got the customize option, so this is where you can change your player's appearance, and then you've got the battle pass. Don't worry too much about the battle pass at the moment. You can buy it from the store if you want to. There is a free version. All those things along the top line, they're available for free, and there's various missions and challenges you can do to earn XP to level yourself up. Then we have the store where you can buy things like skins and the battle pass, and then there's the esports screen, but we're mainly going to be interested in the play option. Then under play we've got normal match. Now this is where you're going to dive into battle royale. Don't do it yet. We've got some things we want to change. Now, in order to play, if you look in the bottom left hand corner, you'll see it says solo TPP random map, so solo third person perspective random map. So if I pressed X, we would then start playing. If I press triangle, I could go into the game mode select screen, and at this point, if we touch the touchpad in the middle of your DualShock, we can go between first person's perspective and third person's perspective. And if we go up and down on the D-pad, you can choose to either play by yourself with a second, either a friend or a random. You can play as a squad of 4, obviously with friends or with random, or you can go in as a one-man squad. So let's say you wanted to go to first person, you wanted to do a duo, and then you press right on your D-pad and this will come up with a random map. Now, at different points, if there's enough players available, you may find we have random map, and there may well be a specialist map or a selected map. So if they were to produce a new map, generally you'll be able to play that by itself and a selection of random maps. At the moment we've only got choices of random maps. Then I press X. Then if we now look in the bottom left hand corner, it now says duo, FPP, first person perspective, random map. Now if you look at the other options underneath play, we now have ranked matches. So ranked max is only available in squads at the moment. Hopefully they'll be bringing solo soon, and normally you have to play, I think, 5 games to get your placement, and it's a lot more serious on ranked. People are playing to stay on the leaderboard. There's not as many bots, if any. In fact, I don't think there's any bots in it. Yeah, you might want to give it a go once you get used to the game. Now, arcade is where we have team deathmatch. Now, this is something that you may want to play just to practice to get better at shooting in PUBG. But we do have the training mode, which is the next option. At the moment in arcade, we've only got team deathmatch. They're saying they're going to bring other things to it. It's not the greatest experience in the world. The PUBG engine isn't suited really to lots of players in a close proximity shooting each other in like a Call of Duty or a Battlefield type experience. It's a bit janky, the frames per second drop. By all means, when you get more used to the game, give it a go. But really, when we want to do some training to get better with the game, which we're going to do in a minute, we're going to go into the training mode. And then finally you've got custom matches. This is where you can do all sorts of weird and wonderful things. Don't worry about them at the moment. So let's go back to play and normal match. Now what we want to look at now is we're going to look at settings. So if you press and hold the just press the options button, we'll see we get the settings up. Just choose settings, and probably what you want to do now is, if you haven't already, fire up PUBG on your console while you're watching this video and just go down and basically just copy what I've got, and it will be a good starting point. The first one, controller button preset B, very important this. This is so the controls are very similar to Call of Duty and Battlefield. You know, you press left trigger to aim down sight, right trigger to fire. With controller type A, you actually tap the left trigger and it aims down sight and stays aimed down sight. So trust me, type B is the one you want. Whether you invert your y-axis or not, it's up to you. Right stick dead zone, left stick dead zone. I have 10. If you've got a little bit of stick drift, this can help. I recommend you disable vibration so that, you know, if you get shot, you don't jump because your controller started vibrating. Forward running sensitivity 20, movement sensitivity 10, vertical sensitivity multiplier 100, so it's the same. General sensitivity. Now, the general sensitivity and the aiming sensitivity, this is a very subjective thing. And you may be a high sensitivity player or you may be a low sensitivity player. 5 is, I would say, is kind of medium low. All right, so if you have high sensitivity in Call of Duty or Battlefield or the likes of that, then go higher. Maybe go to 4. If you're new to first-person shooters and third-person shooters, you maybe want to go 4 or 3. I have mine set to 5, which is pretty low. Aim acceleration, disable aim acceleration. This is so that you have a linear aim experience with your sticks. And then all my optic sensitivity is set to 5. Okay, now let's press R1 to go to gameplay. Language cross-platform play, enable. So this is you going to be going up against Xbox players as well, which is fine. You won't be going up against PC players. Kill feed type graphics. So we have a gun. I mean, you could change it to text. It doesn't really matter. Colorblind mode. Leave it on normal unless of course you are colorblind mode. Some people like to have one of the other colorblind modes so that so blood looks blue. I don't think you need to. Crosshair color default, on-screen button hints enable. So this means on the right hand side of the screen you'll see a list of what the buttons do when you're running around. Keep that on until you become good with the game. Network debug statistics. When you're in the game, look in the top left hand corner and in small writing you'll see your ping, your latency, packet drop loss, that sort of stuff. So that gives you a good indication. If you're having a bad experience in the game and you look up and it says your ping is 300, you know you're in a bad lobby. You really want your ping to be 100 or lower, ideally 50 or lower. If it's 30 or lower, great. If it's 10 or lower, it's brilliant. Compass background enable so you can see it. Loot flash effect, I recommend you have that on glow. Auto replace weapon skin enable, so when you pick up a gun it will change to if you've got a skin for it. Now, these are important. These are the default firing modes for when you pick up the guns. One of the classic mistakes that happens in PUBG is you pick up a gun, say an M416 assault rifle, and it's set to single fire. You don't realise. You look at somebody, you try and shoot them, and the gun goes bang, and it doesn't follow up, and they shoot you. So SMGs, default firing mode, full auto. Secondary mode, burst. Default firing mode for assault rifles, full auto. Secondary firing mode, burst. That comes on if full auto isn't available, say on an M16. Default firing mode for DMRs, full auto. Third person aim camera position, reset to right shoulder, maybe you'll be reset to left, right is normal. Auto reload, enable, so if you run out of bullets the character will automatically put a new magazine in. Auto equip attachments, enabled, so this is when you pick stuff up, the game will automatically put them on. Auto equip scopes, again, when you auto equip a scope, when you pick up a scope, it'll put it on the gun that you're holding. Auto replace attachments enables, again, so when you pick them up, if you pick up a new gun, it will swap the attachments over from one gun to the next. Hide helmet, disable. So what this means is you'll be able to see which level of helmet you're wearing. Radio message, disable. As you get better at the game and you're playing in squads, if you're playing with people who don't talk, with the radio message you can put a markup that says like enemies over here. Not necessary when you're starting up. Continuous use item, so bandages, death cam enable. Audio, master volume 100, gameplay volume 100, UI volume 100, music disable. If you do enable it, just go with the launch music because that's the original one. And graphics, field of view, that only applies to first person, maybe whack it up to 100. Brightness I have 50, universal brightness I have enabled. So they're good base settings. So what you want to do now is, now you've got it set up, again, don't go into a game yet. We're going to go into training mode. Now training mode, we'll just press X to join, press and hold, is a separate map within PUBG. I think it's called Camp Jackal actually, could be wrong, where we just spawn in and we can run around and we don't take any damage. So what I'm going to show you here is a little bit about the weapons. We're going to look at armor, we're going to look at helmets, we're going to look at bags, and I'm going to show you a nice little drill that you can do to kind of get you started with starting to learn the mechanics of PUBG. Now you probably know about, it's a battle royale, so you parachute in with 100 other players, or 50 players and some bots, and then a circle comes in. But the mechanics in PUBG are quite unique, especially for console. We don't have aim assist in PUBG. There's no aim assist at all. So what we'll do, so this is Camp Jackal, it's a great place. If you press the touchpad in the middle of your screen, you'll get up the map. You can zoom in and out using up and down on the D-pad, and if you hold your top right R2 shoulder button, you can kind of move the map around. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to run up here. We're just going to go to one of the other warehouses where it will be a little bit quieter. Now, basic controls: top right shoulder button, press and hold that while you're running, and you get the free cam. All the other controls are pretty similar. X to jump, click in your left stick to sprint, press and hold circle to get on the floor, just tap it to crouch. It's all normal stuff. It's all exactly the same as like Call of Duty. The only thing you'll find really different is when you want to reload, you press and hold square. Right, here we go. So now we're in a really cool place where we can pick up lots of stuff. Let's start off with armor. Armor comes in 3 flavors: 1, 2 and 3. And these offer different levels of protection. Now the way that armor works in PUBG is that it reduces damage. It doesn't get rid of damage. So for example, if you're wearing a level 1 vest and you hit and you take a bullet, the damage of that bullet to your overall health, that white bar on the bottom of the screen, will be reduced. And then as you get hit by more bullets, obviously your health will go down and your vest will take damage. So what this means is that you can still have a vest on that is still got some health left in it, and you can still die. It's not like in Call of Duty or Apex or Firestorm, where in order for your health to take damage, your vest has to be destroyed. It doesn't work like that. So let's put on a nice level 2 vest. Backpacks, 3 flavors: level 1, 2 and 3. Directly relates to how much gear that they can take. Obviously the bigger the better. Helmets, level 1, level 2, level 3. Again, they reduce damage. Now, one of the important things in PUBG are headshots. If somebody gets a headshot on you with a bolt action sniper rifle, unless you are wearing the level 3 helmet, you will die. It's an instant knock. So that's why level 3 helmets are so important. Now, let's go and have a look at some guns. Where are they? Here we go. So, in PUBG, you've got pistols, you've got shotguns, you've got submachine guns, you've got assault rifles, you've got designated marksman's rifles, and you have got sniper rifles. Don't worry too much, alright? There's plenty of videos out there that explain all the different guns. A good loadout for you to have is an assault rifle or an SMG with a close range scope on it, like a red dot, and then something like a designated marksman rifle, or an assault rifle, or a sniper rifle with a long range scope. So let's take a look at a couple of my favourites. So a good one is the M416, which is around here, this gun here. So let's press square. So we've got it. Now if we press the options button, this brings up our inventory, and as you can see, if you look on the right hand side, you can see the weapon I've got is the M416, and you can see my level 3 helmet, my level 2 vest, my level 2 bag, and then I've got the clothes I'm wearing. If you look in the middle at the bottom, it shows you what your weapon can do. Doesn't really mean that much, but what we need to do next is we need to get some ammo for the M416. The M416 takes 5.56, which is that green one there. so we can just pick that up. You can pick stuff up either by pressing square, or if you go into the options, press option and go into inventory, go up and down with your D-pad and you can pick stuff up from here. So we've now got 420 rounds. That's too much, so let's just drop those. And then if we press and hold square, we have reloaded and we are good to shoot. But now we need some attachments for our gun. Let's go around here, and first off let's find an optic. Now these will be scattered all over the floor in PUBG, so let's go and let's put on a red dot sight. So the game has automatically put that on. If you press and hold the left trigger and then go up and down on your left stick, that will does that do the brightness? Sorry, you have to press your left trigger, press your right shoulder button and then up and down on your left stick. That will alter the brightness. Now we also want to put on a grip. Let's see what we've got in terms of grips. These reduce recoil, so a nice vertical grip will do, or an angle grip. So you can see on the left hand side, vertical grip. So all I do is I press X and that will equip that onto my M416. Now what we could put on it now as well is we could put a suppressor. So let's find a suppressor for AR, let's put that on. And then we may want to put on something like an extended magazine or a quick draw magazine. So if we just press that, and then whenever you do that you reload and you'll see that my magazine capacity goes from 40 to 240. So now we've got our assault rifle, so we can aim down sights and we can fire, which is pretty cool. So now let's get our distance weapon, and what we're going to do, we're going to go for another common one. We are going to go for the what's really common, SKS, I think, if we can find it. Let's have a look where we got. Where are you, SKS? There you are. Now the SKS, we press triangle to change weapons, takes 762, which is the yellow box. So let's pick up some 762 and let's reload it by pressing and holding square, and you see this one's only got 10. Now we want to put on a range scope, so we want to put something like a 3 times, a 4 times, a 6 times, or an 8 times on. Let's go and find the scopes. Where are they? Here they are. And let's put my favourite scope on. Let's put the 6 times on. So I pressed options to go into the inventory, so it says vicinity. I press X. There's a box underneath the XKS lights up, and that's on there. So let's look through. And now, if we press and hold the shoulder button, the right shoulder button, go up and down on our left stick, we zoom in and out. And then what we'll do now is let's put an extended mag on. So if we put an extended mag on and then reload, we'll now have 20 bullets in it. And then we could put something like attachments. Could put grip on it, and then we could put a compensator on it, say, to reduce recoil. Though you'd probably really want a if you can find a suppressor. Now, although these attachments are good, you don't necessarily need them. So now we've got our guns. So what you can do is now you can practice, and this is where the training mode comes in very, very handy, because you can actually just shoot at other people like that and get used to the gun. And just run around shooting people. See, somebody's blown my head off there. And there are all sorts of ranges for doing grenades. In fact, while we're over here, let's grab a grenade. And then to pick up a grenade, right on your D-pad, right trigger to hold to throw it. And then if you press the left trigger, you'll go from a low to a high. And then if you press... Ooh, not that one. Pick up a frag again. left shoulder, take the pin out, and then throw it. There we go. Let's go back to guns. Right, so let's go down here. Now, all around the training mode, there's these handy little ranges where you can just practice firing a gun. Like so. Without having to worry about getting killed yourself. Here we go, here's one of the bigger ranges. So again, we can swap between our close range weapon and our long range weapon and just practice firing the guns. And one of the best things is the fact that you can go around and you can practice shooting at other people. And if you're lucky, other people will kind of get into pretend gunfights with you. And you'll be able to get used to the feel of the game. Now, we really are rushing through this stuff, and I'm very aware of that because I know you'll be very keen of getting into the game. Remember, if you press options and then press and hold option, you can go into the controller guide, and this will give you all the different things that you can do. So if there's things you come across and you think, well, how do I do that? Have a look on there, and obviously there's lots of different guides out there as well. Now the final thing I just wanted to show you before we go back to the main menu is the little run that I do, and then I tell you what, we will also look at using first aid. So this little bit of the training mode here is really cool because what you can do is you can practice your close quarter skills. So you can go along and you can kind of, now to lean you just click in the left or right stick like so, and just make your way up and down here, and then what you want to do is you want to run up here that's a fun little course there for practicing your parkour. Let's get some first aid first. So first aids come in lots of different sizes, and the most common one is the first aid kit. So you pick it up, and then what you can do is if you press, what am I doing? I'm getting a grenade out. If you press down on your D-pad, you can bring up your first aid and you can cycle through it, and if you press and hold it, your character will then use that first aid. First aids will heal you up to 75% of your health. Bandages will, but you'll have to use a few of them. Your energy drink, you can select that, and if you drink an energy drink, that'll improve your boost meter, which you can see has just gone up to yellow. That does it up to about a third, and painkillers will then do the rest. And what that does, that then gives you healing over time, so you can go up to 100% health. If you come across one of these babies, the first aid, the med kit, that will heal you to 100 health, and the adrenaline syringe will boost your boost meter all the way. But I want to just go down here. Let me reload my SKS. So this little course here on the training mode is really useful because it's there to help you improve your twitch skills for shooting things. And what you want to do is, as you move around this course, shoot the targets. So as you move around, look for the targets and then shoot them like this. So just go around, as soon as you see a target, try and snap onto it and shoot it. And this will start getting used to using a controller with no aim assist. And you can just work your way around shooting everything. And where this one ends, actually, it's a really cool place. You come out the other end, he says, trying to remember where the exit is. Right, let's just climb over. At this big range here. This is the one where you can really practice your long range shooting skills. There we go. Right, so that's the training mode. So do that, run around that, get used to moving, firing the guns, picking things up, equipping items either by picking them up off the ground or going into your inventory and picking stuff up that way. Get used to using stuff, so you can use stuff from within the inventory as well. And just generally get used to the mechanics. And then when you're ready, press and hold options, go to leave training, and this will then take you back to the main menu. And at this point, you're now ready to dive into Battle Royale. And you'll get one of the maps, a random choice, and just have some fun. This is the point where you've got to know some of the controls, you've got to know some of the mechanics of the game. You know how to select a gun, you know how to put attachments on it, you know how to use first aids. This is where the beginning of your PUBG adventure really starts, and your PUBG learning experience. This is a simple game to play, but a difficult game to master. But one thing I would say is it's all about the numbers, alright? The more you play, the more chance you'll have of winning. It's simple as that, and there's a lot of randomness involved as well. So where the circle is, where you decide to land, what the enemies decide to do, all this sort of stuff. So just keep playing and keep playing and keep playing. And if I were to say to you, you probably won't get a win until you've played 100 games when you're a beginner. That would probably be a fair thing to say. And a really good solo player in PUBG, in normal matches, if they win 1 in 10 matches, they're really good. So when you kind of get used to the game, you'll probably only ever win 1 in 20 solo matches. Now, if you get in with a good squad, then that percentage can really increase, and you can be winning you can be winning like half the matches you enter, or even more than that. But as I say, there's a lot more to learn. There's lots of videos out there, but hopefully this little video has kind of introduced you to some of the core concepts of the PUBG. We've shown you what some of the menus do. We've shown you some good starter options. We've shown you the training mode where you can run around and get used to shooting. And now it's time, to dive in and have a go at Battle Royale. Okay, that's enough from me, and I'll see you again soon.